Hello, my name is Kyler O'Connor, and I'm a vocational deacon serving at St. Bartholomew's Episcopal Church in Pittsboro, North Carolina. Welcome to another episode of the Seekin Deacon, as we are joined by Septina Florimonte as she shares her spiritual journey. This is Season 3, Episode 8.
And
Yeah,
God just took
it's
us where we
beautiful.
are. Yeah,
So
thank you.
when you, and I'm just out of curiosity, when you made the transition to St. Timothy's,
Mhm.
were you worshiping there with your parents?
Yes,
Okay.
that's
And
where
that's
we
special, right? I mean, to be able to
are.
do
Mhm,
that. Yeah.
mhm,
And um, I mean, I serve at St. Bart's, but my wife still is at at Nativity, and my kids,
mhm,
they're graduated from high school, but or about to, I should say, but it's still home to them, right?
right.
And I
Mhm,
think it's always good to have a spiritual home. And I heard
mhm,
somebody preach recently, and I think part of our job as Christians too is to try to help people find one. And that doesn't have to be Christianity. It can be something spiritual that they gravitate towards.
mhm, mhm.
It makes them live out that space more than they do in the present, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Mhm,
So,
mhm,
but no, that's a gift that you were able to transition there and worship with them.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
and be introduced to a new family while you're with
mhm,
your family,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I am of the belief that spirituality isn't supposed to be private,
sure.
you
Yeah,
know, and it has nothing to say, because when you keep your spirituality to yourself, right, and not share, it doesn't say anything to public suffering.
yes.
You're self-centered when you do that. And so I'm very visible in terms of how I openly share my faith.
I love that. And I think a lot of people in today's world are scared to
Mhm,
be open spiritually. And I think
mhm,
that's more, I could go down a rabbit hole here, but I think it's more, maybe just because of, social media and all this different stuff, right, that we are bombarded with. Um, but that's the great thing about this country and the world in general is, I
mhm.
think people should be able to be open and share those experiences. And
Right.
I love
Mhm.
when people do because it is vulnerable and um, it shows a side of somebody that's different, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I mean, guilty myself and probably most of us, but there was probably a stage in my life where I would not do that. I didn't feel comfortable doing it, because of whatever societal boundaries I had,
Right.
and
Mhm.
that I think that takes time, and God works slow. So,
It
um,
does.
yes, I was trading text with this guy I worked with the other day, and he said, "Kyler, God is like the ultimate barbecue pit master, low and slow, my friend."
Right. Not to perfection, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. So I was like, "Yeah, I get it, Billy. Okay, it makes
Uh-huh,
sense to
uh-huh.
me." But anyway, I know I need to be more patient, but I struggle like everybody else. So,
Mhm, mhm,
um,
mhm. Yeah.
so you mentioned, like, your service work and your work around women's rights and nursing. What for you, like, lately or recently, what's like something that you do that fills your cup? Like you walk away energized.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Let's see. Oh gosh, there's so much. I think it's for me, it's um great question. I because there's so much that I
yeah,
do. The core of it is serving. And
sure.
of course, in my role as Daughters of the King president, that is the epitome of serving, right? Like,
Yes.
the age group between intergenerational age group, if that's not enough, and yeah, that's one of the things that keep filling my cup. And of course, when you talk about service and you're not saying, I am the one who's there to rescue people, rescue them from their dignity or being less dignified. You're right. You're talking about true service, getting in the trenches with people when they have experienced a catastrophic loss, mental loss, right? It doesn't have to be a physical loss, but it could be just a mental loss, a deterioration of spirit, and that's when you truly have your cup filled, when you're able to meet people, not to be the one that, oh, I'm rescuing you, no, but to
Sure.
help lift them up and bring them back, restoring their honor and their dignity, right? Because when you
Yes.
had a mental or any kind of um um I'm losing my words. Anytime you have a de deprivation or a
Yeah.
poverty of hope, or poverty of your just being fully whole, and you have someone who's there to say, "Oh, me, this fills my cup. I must rescue." That is not what filling my cup for me is, and
Yeah. Well, and absolutely. Yeah. And I think maybe sometimes interesting, but we sometimes we fill our cup and we're exhausted, right? I mean, it's yeah, like there's such a it's not like a satisfaction, it's kind of a joy or
Mhm.
happiness that
Yeah,
we sat in something that is good.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree
Um
with that. Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
because chaplaincy work, I mean, I can go through so many different ministries and I know so many
Hmm.
people that do a really good job at that work, and like I said, it takes all different kinds of people to make it happen. Those are very tiring roles
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
it's exuding empathy and also, like you said, trying to lift somebody else up. And
Mhm.
when we do that,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
it's um it's draining too,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm. Well, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Compulsion fatigue. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. But Connor, when you Kyler, sorry,
No worries. All good.
when you
It's
I,
Kyler O'Connor, so I
I
mean,
know,
you got
right?
part of it,
Right.
right?
I'm looking at the name there, and I'm saying, oh wait, oh.
Right,
Um.
right.
I think so. For me, part of filling that cup is witnessing the transformation of someone, right?
Yes.
And when they're having that subtle shifting, when someone feels seen, when somebody feels rediscovered, when somebody feels
Yeah.
restored because of your relationship, not when you enter a room and someone says, "Oh, gosh, here she is. She's back."
Yeah. Right.
That's not what I'm speaking of. Feeling my cup really humbles.
Yeah.
I feel like it's supposed to humble you. It's supposed to become you're that great teacher, the teacher that the
Yes.
one, hopefully, even as a follower, because I'm not a shepherd, but as a follower, you still hope that you become an architect of redemption, like through your life that you lead, right? And that we all become the body of Christ and we all participate in it. So it's not just my brother is feeling down and I'm the rescuer, but it's more of a building,
Sure.
redeeming. And when you talk about depletion, I can firsthand tell you
Yeah.
there are some times I have to just hit the reset and say I am not responding to any emails for a week because
Exactly. Yeah.
you just, I mean, you simply can't give something you do not have.
Yes. Well,
You you know.
and I think it's really interesting because in some of those reflections, what I think's so amazing is sometimes maybe we all, through that teaching and mentoring and seeing somebody shift or whatever those things may be,
Mhm.
we glean something or have a different perspective than we did
Mhm.
before. And
Yeah.
that goes both ways. That could be something that somebody else does. It could be a spiritual moment. It could be um, somebody that joins DOK and gets more involved,
Mhm.
and those are the kind of things where um, I think sometimes we can step back and I don't want
Mhm.
to say analyze them because
Mhm.
that's not
Mhm.
really part of what I think we see, but more of like, this maybe was a little thing, but it was a big thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something that
Mhm.
somebody smiled and that was
Mhm.
captured, and that was a big deal for that person versus they're always in a weird mood or whatever that could be. And so I always, and from being a nurse, but like that's like the ultimate read the room role, right? I mean, you have to know like all these things that are going on with a patient, with a family, and I think you like as a nurse in all of your work, you've kind of got those spidey senses that maybe some other people don't. And that's not a bad thing. That's just not their gift,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think in what you've witnessed and what you have done, um, and I think the other thing is, and I say this about every church or any faith tradition, everybody has some gift. They a lot of times don't think they do, but there's something they may have that's small or
Mhm.
big that they don't realize, right? It kind of all works together. It's kind of like the stock market, it's mass confusion, but yet at the end of the day, it all gets settled
Yeah.
out.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of how all of us work together, like you said, as the body of Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And too, it's like when you serving from the right place, you do not simply just give it away.
Right.
Like if you just you are truly encountering Christ. And I think that Christ has a remarkable way of just meeting us disguised as the person that we thought we came to help.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I have I'll tell you, I have so many stories and examples, and it's transformed me, transformed
Yeah.
me. This is an isolated example, but it's an example of the everyday encounter with you in the life of Septina. I was walking down the street, and it was not a street, but like mini mall area.
Sure.
And a homeless gentleman approached me and asked if I had money, and I said, "No, I don't," because that's something most of us don't have anymore. We could cash on us. But anyway,
Sure.
so but I responded and said, "But I would pray for you." And he turned and looked at me with the biggest smile, and he said, "Because prayer will change everything."
Wow. That's so great.
How many people in his position would say that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing, isn't it?
doesn't have a place to go, homeless, but he still had hope.
Yeah.
And that's the disguise that I talk about when I talk about the remarkable way that, what we need maybe just disguised.
Thank you for taking the time to join today. Until next time, let's keep seeking. For wherever the Spirit leads us, continue the journey, my friends. Blessings.
This has been another episode of The Seekin Deacon, hosted by Kyler O'Connor. Episodes are produced and edited by me, Robert Jones. We would also like to thank the Episcopal Diocese of North Carolina. New episodes are released weekly. Make sure to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. This has been a Several Arrows Later production. Thank you for listening.